No, we're not starting the first episode of you back as an ASMR. I refuse. No.
It's because my voice is really sore.
Dude, your
talk
voice
like
is
this.
fine. You sound normal. If
This
anything,
is
I
just
sound a little bit
normal.
sick.
This is my
Okay.
new normal.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nerd Rant.
Rant.
I am Junior Wolf, aka JJ, and this is my
Dr.
co-host.
Zombrain, also known as Seth, or as all the girls called me at camp, Bluey, the Australian cartoon dog.
For any of you that don't know, it's because his hair tends to be dyed blue. It was green for a little while.
Ish. It's more teal and turquoise.
It was pretty green.
It was not green.
It looked like you left a teal and turquoise plastic sheet in the sun.
Thanks. That's what
You're
I was going
welcome.
for. Actually, that's what I
So,
did.
Welcome back, Seth. It's been a while.
Yay, it's been 3 months. It's been a very long 3 months since I've been in a swamp without the great Wi-Fi and only having 2 hours a day to check Twitter. So,
Yeah,
we're behind on some
that's rough.
things.
But we are back today to talk about the past 2 seasons of Fortnite.
In our first Megasode. I was going to say Megasode. Come on, JJ. Megasodes are a big deal.
but Mega was 2 seasons ago.
You know, guys, earlier I was talking and I said, do you want to do a Mega episode? And JJ was very confused. I know people.
I was
I know
like,
I say
I thought you
vibing normally, and people make a joke that was last season, last chapter, right? In like Paradise, I would say, and we would be making jokes. I don't know what that means about either societies and how big of a deal Fortnite is, or how much of addiction JJ has to Fortnite. That he thought when I say Megasode, he thinks I'm talking about the Fortnite season.
I was like, yeah, we already did episodes on Mega, bro.
Also, I'm popping bubble wrap right now.
That's gonna sound great in edit. Anyways, well, Wilds, I guess we can start with.
Well, that's crazy. Or should I say wild? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna stop you. Anyways,
I dare
we do
you.
not condone physical abuse.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, unless it's Seth.
Or Jaden.
Fair. Alright, well, let's jump right into it. Do you want to start with the battle pass or the items?
I just realized I want to apologize right now because that's gonna suck. The coughing.
Yeah, I'll try and find it editing out. It should just be a giant spike in the audio.
Wait, what just happened?
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So we're not gonna talk too. Do you want to do gameplay, or do you just want to do season?
Season.
Cool. So we can start with battle pass if you'd like.
Okay, battle pass. Let me find that here. So the first one, Era. What was your opinion on Era?
Good. I liked her. I wish I could have. She didn't have super styles, right? No, super styles
No.
didn't matter anyway. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
in a bit. Yeah, probably top 3.
Yeah,
Top 3.
I really liked Era. I think she was probably my favorite of the battle pass. She was really in depth. She had a very unique style. This was one that we saw in concepts a little while ago too.
Not to mention the set itself, the whole time, the
Mhm.
wheel. I love that
And-
wheel from Orisa.
Yeah, and the meaning she had to the story, which now makes a lot more sense with the time machine being revealed. We now
Yes.
know her involvement means something. So her little story was pretty cool. So I guess we have
Do it a rake them out
1,
of 10?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skins.
Do I
well,
rake them like in order or like the skin itself out of 10?
We'll rank them out of 10.
Okay.
I'd say
Pretty
Era's
good.
an 8.
8.5.
Yeah.
She's better than other ones.
Era's pretty good. All right, and then moving on, what about Trace?
Bro, I'm gonna be completely honest. Last battle pass and this battle pass have just been forgettable.
Okay, the guy who worked with Sloan.
No,
with
I know,
blue
I can
all
see
over
it.
his
No,
hands.
I know, but it's just
Yeah.
like, cool. It's just one of those like generic guys. I mean, he looks
Trace?
yeah,
No,
with the hood up.
dude, he freaking huge story implications.
Just looks like bites. Skin-wise, not story, skin-wise. It just looks like another bites, like just a super generic.
I thought it was pretty cool with all like the magical, whatever you want to call it.
Again, not story. Story, sure. But like skin itself is just another generic guy with a little
but he
extra.
literally glowed.
Eh.
Yeah. I'd say he's probably a 7.
4.
All right. If you rate this one higher, I'm suing you, Rian.
Which one was that? Was that
the weird mechanic lady?
Oh, yeah, same thing. Jules is better. Jules is a better mechanic. Fight me.
Rian was really boring. I'd say she's a 2 for me.
4.
All right.
It has to actually be a bad skin for me to like rate it a 2. So like the generics are like a 4 or 5, and that's what I see them. I don't see them as bad skins. They're just generic. Like I prefer something like Era or something, but like they're not bad. Just they're just forgettable. Like I said.
Yeah. All right, Relic.
Relic. I really feel like it has some kind of connection with Ruin somehow. I don't know how. It just reminds me so much of Ruin, which honestly started a downfall. Ruin started a downfall because Epic teased it through a loading screen and like halfway through the season before the secret, because this is when they're actually secret and they weren't silhouettes. You had no idea who they were other than by the name of the challenges. And since then we've pretty much known the secret skin since day 1.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I think it's probably that's definitely in my top 3. I don't know the order of my top 3, but Era, her, and then you probably know the other one, which we'll get there. Yeah, I liked him. Especially the cloak style.
I'd probably rate him a 7 only because his coloring wasn't my favorite. I do think he was a cool design, and obviously I did like his involvement. I think in general, because of the coloring, I'd say 7.
JJ, you like coats? I love wearing trench coats. So I'm going to have to rate it a 9 for the trench coat.
It's very fair. It's very fair.
Next one.
Mariposa.
Who?
The wrestler lady.
Oh, the remix of Dynamo.
I guess so.
That's my answer. She's a remix of Dynamo. And not a cool remix, too. Like, we've had some cool remixes, like Season X or something. This wasn't a cool remix.
Yeah,
It's cool. It was good, but, like, to be a Battle Pass skin, this is not the remix I'm thinking of. When we've seen, like, the skin surveys, there's some cool remixes.
Yeah. She was definitely a flop. I don't think I used her once, so I'd probably put her at a 3.
I'm going to put her below the other ones. The other ones, your generic sheet is bad. 3.
Lorenzo.
My other top 3. After all, I love Renzo so much. Love Lorenzo. Not as much because the super style was made Renzo so cool with the green, purple, and gold, you know, the eye and everything. It's not, super styles weren't as good this season, but again, the coat, the mask, it had plenty of styles.
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely at his best with the final styles.
Yeah. No, I really like him.
I personally...
And the trench coat.
Yeah, the trench coat was really cool. The only downside for me was that
he was too
obviously
human.
Having to follow up Renzo was very difficult, and so all those like visual effects that Renzo had, Lorenzo didn't have.
Like the blinkly eye and stuff that matched the color of the super style and everything.
Yeah. He was definitely cool, but not as cool as Renzo. So I'd probably put him 7.5.
I'm gonna go 8 because I do really like him, but Era's the tier 100. I just love the hat. Like, it's just so cool and clean. And like I said, Renzo might be my main. I'm still mixed between Lynx and Renzo as my main, but either way, Renzo's probably in my top 5 of my entire locker, and I now have 350 something.
Yeah,
so that's kind of hard to top.
All right, Optimus Prime.
More like Primal. Good, drink some water.
Optimus Primal is a different skin.
Oh, it's really weird.
Anyways, Optimus Prime, what do you think?
He was there. Second style, it's so hard to see a difference.
He's just broken and scratched up.
Ish. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I think as skin, he's pretty cool. Relevancy, definitely give or take. Because yes, they did involve him in the story. He was like on the radio broadcasting us messages and stuff all throughout the season. But I think it's Optimus Prime. That role could have been filled by literally anybody. So I'd probably put him 6.5 to 7.
I'm going to say 6. It's cool, but honestly, I know they couldn't do it. I know they couldn't have done this, but I would be so much happier. Actually, I'm lowering it down to a 5. Lowering down to 5 because of this reason. There's no traversal emote that turned him into a tiny truck.
Dude, do you know how overpowered that would be?
And that's why I said I know they can't do this, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Do it. That's a you problem for putting the main point of the skin is it transforms and you can't make it transform. Come on.
All right, Paradise Meowscles.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, compared to the other skins, compared to like the other like mediocre, I think it's above average. Like it's like a, I'm gonna say the number now, like a 7. Right? It's not bad. I do like it. Now, do I think it's the secret skin? No. Do I think it could have been something else that was like way better? Yeah. But compared to other stuff, and compared to someone like Neymar or something or Wolverine, I like it more than that.
I'd say it's a good Meowscles race skin. I like it.
Not to mention, it played a key point in the summer event, which did happen. Right, the secret skin, Paradise Meowscles is kind of like the entire point of the summer event.
All right, cool. That's the battle pass then.
Yeah.
You've all heard our ratings. I say we move on to the weapons of that season then.
Sure.
So, in terms of new weapons, we had first the thermal DMR. What do you think?
I'm not a big fan of the marksman weapons because it's like, especially when you have like stuff like heavies in the game, and later on in the season we had the mammoth pistol. It's like, I'd rather just take that one shot and like hit a lot more damage, or take one of the weaker ones like a Red Eye or the MK Alpha and just hit more shots, guaranteed, because it's hit scan.
Yeah.
It's like, it just kind of doesn't feel worth it.
In terms of the DMRs we've got, it's not a great one. The thing that made it worth picking up was that thermal scope, because you were able to see players a lot easier with it.
Unless they add mud.
Which
is everywhere. If you could still see through mud, sure. But the fact that like half the map is now mud, and it feels like you cannot go through a game without having a good 2 or 3 circles in the jungle where there is mud everywhere, it just, like, the main point isn't there. Same thing with the flare gun, which we had. It wouldn't scan people if they had mud, which made it pointless. Yeah. So yeah, the idea is there. The map just didn't fit it. If they didn't have the mud thing to remove the scanning, it would have been fine. But
yeah. All right. Then next is the flapjack rifle,
or I like to call it the Lewis LMG, because that's what it looks like.
So what'd you think of it?
I liked it. It was toxic, just spraying through builds with a nice 45 round magazine, and the build damage was great on that thing. And actually, I think it did 5 more damage than its base damage for 2 builds, which is pretty good, because I think it was doing like 30 at the higher rarities, 30 something. So it's doing close to 40 damage per shot on builds, and it has 45 rounds. It's pretty good. At distance, it could be better. I don't think it's that bad if you use it like an LMG, you know, because it is an assault rifle. Maybe JJ have talked about this. I don't see it as an assault rifle. I see it as an LMG. We have an LMG. As an assault rifle, yes, it's not great at anywhere past 75 meters at that distance, especially when we have red dots in the game. That makes it so much easier to see distance or snipers. But at that, it's like, it's a good balance to take that as an as like an SMG, especially for competitive. It's nice to have a weapon that somebody can take and you can split between your teammates' light ammo and medium ammo. One person can take the Lewis as their SMG and take the medium, and one person can take the combat and take the mini ammo, which is good in comp. So I like having metas like that where there's multiple things that aren't necessarily that classification, like it's not an SMG, but I can use it as an SMG. Kind of like the pulse rifle.
Yeah, I didn't pick it up a lot simply because of the fact that I preferred using actual SMGs to this. I also played a lot more zero build, so I wasn't using it as an anti-build, though it was very good at being an anti-build. I think I probably would have picked it up more in build, but yeah, I didn't really use it a lot. It had questionable fire rates for me. I think maybe a point faster would have been nicer, but I do understand that they technically did mark it as an assault rifle, which I think it's its biggest flaw. If they acknowledged the fact that it was an LMG, it probably would have been a lot better.
This would be for a whole other talk, because we have so much to talk about. But I think it'd be interesting to really talk about the classifications of weapons, because honestly, we're getting to the point where you have to get rid of it. Because like pistol, but then some aren't pistol, heavy ammo, like with the augments and stuff, it's really getting confusing on what's a shot. Like, I've talked with people before, the boom bow takes shotgun shells. So does that classify it with the first shot with shotgun? It's not a shotgun, it's not a sniper. What is it? It's a bow, but it doesn't use arrows.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird, like to classify it as, it has to be its own thing. Because you don't have enough LMGs to really compare it.
All right, next up would be the kinetic boomerang. Now, I know you probably didn't use this much, right?
Yeah, used it like 3 days. I used it like 1 day out of the week I was back. It just wasn't worth it when we have the mythics that we had at the end of the season.
I used it a lot in the beginning of the season, half because there were quests and half because it was, you know, the new kinetic ore weapon and I wanted to try it out. I do think it was much better after they ended up buffing it. In the start of the season, I can't remember exactly how much damage it did, but
70.
Was it 70?
I want to say 70.
Well, I think it did 65 after the buff. So
you can talk about it because I didn't play it. I'll check.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. It was a good weapon because of the homing, I think. The fact that it homed on enemies and you were able to get that like 60 to 70 damage right off the bat was really good. I think they did a good job at like the cooldown and time in between throws, so players weren't spamming it. But if you did get hit with it once or twice in between them using their guns, it would be fatal. And it didn't have a huge range either, so it's not like you were getting sniped by it. And if you miss, you know, you can still hit them when it comes back. So it was a pretty good weapon. In terms of the kinetic ore weapons, it's probably my least favorite, but I do think it was a good addition and a fitting one for the jungle season.
All right, the only thing I could see is it doing 60, but I feel like I've seen 70, so I don't know if it's 60 to 70 or 50 to 60.
I'm not sure.
One of the two.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about it?
With this season, we're going to talk, it's going to be a lot more of JJ explaining for season 3. It's going to be a lot more JJ explaining the story, because I just didn't play. I did get to level 200. I got the secret scan. I finished the JJK pass, but I was at camp. So I got to like level 100 before around summer event. And I literally didn't open the game until I got home.
Yeah.
So.
And I was playing all the way through.
Ish.
I kind of lost interest later on because the super styles, if they're not great, I'm probably not gonna end up grinding.
Not to mention, I wasn't there to nerd out on everything with him throughout the season, because
a little bit
we both
disappointing.
know Jaden is not.
This was the season
enough.
where it would have been really fun to just go in and break down the map.
Yeah, but Jaden can't do that, and I was not there. So,
anyways, next weapon, Cybertron Cannon.
I know this is completely different, but the debrief van is already in game and can be found north of Shady Stilts. Purely cosmetic difference, as it's May's own reboot van.
Bruh.
Just thought I should mention that.
Brilliant.
Anyway, what did you say?
the Cybertron Cannon.
Oh, That was a thing, I guess.
It did a lot of damage.
It was
What
also
was it, like 120, I think?
100. I think it was just a solid 100.
Damn, I don't know. It did a lot of damage, and if you had multiple people on a team pick it up and shoot you at the same time, you are so screwed. Getting hit with 2 of those bolts, you're like one shot by anything.
How's the do you know what the build damage was like?
The problem with it was it didn't pierce builds very well, so you could shoot it at a wall and I think it'd break the wall, but it wouldn't do much more than that.
Yeah, okay then. So you had a counter, but I mean, until you knew it was there, that's 100 damage. But again, we had other stuff later in the season and just other stuff that's better, like heavy snipers and things like that.
Yeah, cool gun, but probably not the best thing they added.
And remove your back bling. Big L.
Yeah, that's big L. Wild wasps.
They're there.
Oh, thank you. I needed the consolation.
They didn't seem they seem a little annoying when they're on the ground, but like as an item, I don't think people really used it. I didn't see it. I didn't get used. People didn't use it against me, and I didn't use it against people.
Honestly, I'd rather chuck fireflies at people than wild wasps.
Fireflies and again, I still do primarily play build, and burning is so much better than the wasps.
If it like poisoned them, then that could be worth it, but it didn't. It just damaged them. It's like a stink cloud.
It doesn't even do that much. It's like 8, but it's so much slower than a stink cloud or fire ticks.
Yeah. So not the greatest.
Yeah.
Then there were the unvaulted weapons of the drum and the combat SMG.
I love the combat. It's good.
Yeah, combat SMG, definitely a good addition.
And
Always
again,
welcome.
that's kind of where it's hard. Like I did like the Lewis, but combat SMG is just better. Like we literally saw Booga beaming people in a solo cash cup and breaking records with the combat SMG. It does take a lot more skill because of the recoil, because it does have a high amount of recoil, but when you can control it, it shreds compared to
it is
other
a
SMGs,
fantastic
'cause the
SMG,
accuracy.
and I will always welcome it into a loot pool.
Drum shotgun, I will not always welcome this.
Absolutely not. You can burn that thing with fire. I would not be sad if it was never seen again.
Honestly, it's just a clutter too. It wasn't even that good compared to
like
other seasons.
The new players that don't really know how to aim will pick it up and just spam you with it, and it's just annoying. It doesn't always kill you.
That's
but
what I mean.
It's
like
a solid way for them to get you low before you kill them, and that's just annoying.
Last time when we had the jetpacks in with it, that's when it was rough, right? You can jump up and you can hit them from above. Now when we have the Havoc, Lever, and Sharptooth, just put yourself a little bit of range with a Porta Bunker if you're playing zero build, and the Sharptooth is winning that every single time.
Yeah.
The Havoc, Lever, fire rate, hit 2 good shots, and then you have the combat, so you hit a nice Havoc shot for, like 180, and then you spray him with an SMG. Like, you can't counter it. It's just annoying, and it feels like it's a clutter to the loot pool when you are skilled enough to use the good shotguns.
Yeah.
That you can't use everything else. Also, why are we going to unvaults? Because there's two weapons that you missed. 3.
Is there?
Mammoth Pistol, MK Alpha, and I just said it, the Sharptooth.
Yeah, that's because I was reading off of the Fortnite blog post for the season release, so I didn't get the ones that came out after.
Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Then there's the Mythics, but we can talk about it in a minute.
Sharptooth was really good.
Sharptooth, I don't want to say it's my favorite, because I still really like the Thunder, but it's a great balance in the types of shotguns that we've had. It's not like the shotguns like the heavy, the new heavy, the Ranger, the combat with that tight, really, really tight spread, but good range. It still has that normal pump fire rate. Not the exact same, but like it feels like a normal type pump, like Striker, like Thunder. It feels like one of those hitting that damage, but it has a little bit more range to it too. And they counter that range with only having 4 shots. So you're not able to hit 5 or 6 or like some of these have. I think it's just a great balanced shotgun, and it does take skill because it does have a slightly tighter spread than the other ones, like the pump Striker. So
I was definitely picking that up a lot later in the season.
Especially we'll talk about this season when we get there, but Last season, probably my main shotgun.
Yeah. What were the other ones you mentioned?
MK Alpha.
MK, yes.
Kind of
nice to
annoyed
have an
that they
MK
changed
back.
it like day 3 and not day 1.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, new season, Red Eye's still here. Never mind. Change the meta. Hey, I know you guys are having a tournament literally the following day. Change the meta. Why? Just change it day 1. I like it more than the MK7 though. I've always liked the slower fire rate weapons, and so this is just easier to control, a little bit less. Is it less or more damage? I know it's less
believe it's
fire
more
rate.
damage.
Yeah, more damage. So I've always liked those that shoot a little bit slower but do
Yeah.
more damage per shot.
I personally like the higher fire rate stuff, so
Yeah.
I prefer the MK7, but this one is definitely not a bad change. I
It's
do
also
like it.
balanced, because when the MK7 came out day 1, that was broken. It got nerfed
Yeah.
a lot throughout the season. This one, I don't think it was really changed because it was balanced. It wasn't,
Yeah.
bleeding through builds 3 times or just shredding everything. It was balanced in every way. And then the Mammoth.
Mammoth pistol, that was really fun to use. It was, people...
JJ, repeater
What?
too. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff.
Breath.
Mammoth pistol. We'll finish that. Mammoth
Yeah.
pistol. It was fun. I still don't know what the best pistol is. Deagle, Mammoth, or Flintlock. The Mammoth pistol is pretty much the Deagle mixed with the Flintlock. I feel like it shoots one time. It can do crazy damage. I'm mad I didn't get to play with it when it was in its prime. It did get nerfed, and I feel like it was a pretty heavy nerf. It was a good nerf, but it was pretty heavy because you used to be able to hit like 198 from distance, and now you can only hit like 170.
Yeah.
But it's good, like combining that with a good shotgun like Sharptooth or Havoc. Hit them for 159, then switch the Sharptooth for that range. Boom, tag him, finish that damage off. It was so fun, that double pump style gameplay.
Yeah, it was absolutely a lot of fun.
And then the repeater.
Yeah.
What do you think about the repeater?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I think I liked it. I don't think I used it a lot, but
I used it quite a bit. I'd just be sitting up there at top of Mega City. Remember that one clip? I was just shooting down on them. 70, 70, 40, 70. Oh, it's because of that explosion size. Yes, it's only doing 40 damage, but compared to some other explosion weapons that we've had lately, it actually had decent enough range that you do not have to hit, like, a foot from their foot.
yeah.
And when you do hit a headshot, it's pretty good. And there wasn't
Yeah,
much
no.
damage drop-off, was there?
No,
If any.
I don't think there was.
Yeah.
It was definitely a really good marksman rifle, and having that extra explosion effect definitely made it worth picking up.
Yeah, no, it was fun. And before the Mammoth, just, again, that double pump, it's such a fun thing. Like, back in the day, pumping Deagle, like, swapping between the two.
Yeah.
It's just so fun, and the repeater was a great thing to do that with because it also, you didn't have to be super accurate too. So if you're doing it from above, like the double, it's so easy to hit them.
Yeah.
Now, JJ, take 5 seconds and really think, is that actually all the guns?
I think so.
Shotgun, SMG, pistol, AR.
Who cares?
Okay, do you want to talk
If we're
about
not thinking of it now, then it's not important enough.
Yeah, but I feel like the Mammoth pistol is pretty important enough, and we forgot about that.
Fine.
Do you want to talk about JJK, and then we can take the next half an hour to talk about the story?
Sure.
How do you feel about the JJK first?
And
And not to be confused with the KKK.
This is another anime I know absolutely nothing about. I've seen pictures online, but apart from that, there's literally nothing I know. Okay.
Means you're weak. That's Gojo's catchphrase.
Brilliant. I think they missed a chance marketing it with the season. It was one of these like surprise ones that we didn't really see coming until
Like
it was
Futurama.
happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was weird.
There's so much.
But yeah, the skins are not great in my opinion. But
Again,
that's from an
though,
outsider
just-
perspective
Yeah,
who
it's
doesn't
just like
get
the
it.
Star Wars pass. Like, I do not care the fact that I'm getting 8 skins. They look like the exact same. Sure, they're technically completely different characters. They look the same. I do not want to have, like, buying, like, 6. It's the exact same here. Same with Attack on Titan. What else do they wear? They're all cadets in the same team. Like, that'd be like, you know, having military from the real world. They're all wearing the same thing with the same gear. Same thing
my
here.
problem is, it's like if you bought all of the Tron skins that are in the shop right now. It's like they are all the same skin, they just have different faces. And so I'm not as interested in this pass. This is one that I did not get, I will say.
But again, as someone who does actually care, like me, it's amazing. Like, you know, it's Dory, all the characters in the item shop, getting Gojo, all the little funny things that we had for pickaxes and backblings, the references to the show. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know why. I don't know if it's manga or I just completely erased it from my mind. I don't remember the glider in season 1. I don't remember where the glider's from.
Dang.
But everything else, I just love the hints. You know, like I said, like we both said, if you like the show, if you like what it's from, you're gonna like the pass. If you don't like the show or know the show,
this one didn't have a free skin.
That's true.
The Star Wars one had a free skin. I don't think the Heist had a free skin, did it?
Yeah, it was the Cold-Blooded. All of the Cold-Blooded pack that's in the shop right now was free.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it was only one track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this one didn't have a free skin. The big reward was an emote that isn't even that cool looking.
Again, if you like the show, it's cool. We did get the same thing that like last time. You get a skin for buying it, and you get a different skin at the end. But I feel like compared to Star Wars, again, you have a lot more options that kind of look simplistic that they could throw in there as a free skin. Yeah. This would be the same thing as an item shop skin. Like the Clone Trooper, we've had so many. Let's throw one for free, right? There's only so many actually decent characters you could do for this.
Yeah.
Without, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little harder to do because we haven't seen that many free skins in these passes as we've only had 3.
Yeah. I'd say they should have done it where, like, the big reward for track 2 should have been the second style for what's-his-face.
I don't know why they don't do that. Why is it a different skin?
Yeah, I think it should have been the second style on the second track, and then have the skin be free on the first track, and then you could have made one of the other guys free.
Yeah.
For the purchase, or not free for the purchase, but with the purchase.
Yeah. Or a whole other character.
Yeah.
The other reason that for the people that don't know why JJK was, because a lot of people are thinking One Piece. Would I have been extremely thrilled for a One Piece collab? Sure. JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen, by the way. Did we even specify that?
No, we did not.
It's Jujutsu Kaisen. It's currently coming out with Season 2, and it's very up there. So you know One Piece is a pretty big deal, right, JJ?
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen did actually take 2020, if I remember correctly, for manga sales over One Piece.
Dang.
So it's a big deal. Season 1 was great, and it came out in 2020. 2022, 3 this year. We're getting Season 2. I've been watching it, caught up. We're going to get a recap next week, and it's going to come back. But it's been great. Animation, story, it's been really fun. So, and the movie was a really big deal, too, that came out last year. So the people that don't know why it's JJK and not One Piece or another collab, that's why. It is a very... Because I saw people in the comments of Twitter posts, it's like, this is such an unknown... This is such a dead show. This is such a small show. It's like, guys, it beat One Piece in manga sales. This is a big show. But if you're not fully in, unless you know the mainstream, like My Hero, Attack on Titan, you're not going to know it. So I just want to quickly say that, because it is a big deal in anime, because it beat One Piece. But if you don't know anime, it's just another show.
Yeah. What was your opinion on the actual items?
The items, I think they might be my favorite. Not in enjoyability, but in the fact that they're balanced. We had 2. The only other one that I can remember that we got 2 like weapons were Attack on Titan. Because My Hero, we only got Deku Smash. Dragon Ball, Yeah, no, this would be the only one that we got 2. The shadow doll technique, it was great. It was really accurate.
Straw doll.
Ammo, straw doll, yeah. Straw doll, it was really accurate. You know, you could shoot at distance, infinite ammo. I thought it was really great. Like, I actually picked it up with, like, my mammoth. It was actually, like, my AR almost.
I had a lot of fun with it. And I think the fact that it did recharge shots made it a lot more worth picking up than the hollow purple.
Yeah, and then the hollow purple is our normal anime overpowered thing, like Deku Smash and Kamehameha. However, I felt like it was a lot more balanced. It took a while. It didn't, like, just instantly blow through everything, and it had a decent distance limit. It wouldn't, like, literally blow across. Like, if you're at Citadel, right, you could not hit the towers on the side from the top of Citadel like you could with the other ones.
And it only really hit people once, too, unlike the,
Deku
Kamehameha
Smash,
where
which
you
could
could just
do
continue to hit
250,
them.
Or the Kamehameha, you could spray them. So I think it was really balanced. But it was still overpowered, like it's supposed to, because it's overpowered.
Yeah.
So I think not enjoyability. Enjoyability, I still think Attack on Titan's up there, because, you know, the ODM gear is mobility and stuff, and Dragon Ball, we had mobility with the Cloud and then switching to the Kamehameha. But for balanced, you know, like, I'm actually taking the straw doll over an AR, not just because it's overpowered, but because I can use it like an AR, and not just feel like, screw you, you have no chance.
Yeah.
And it had good build damage, by the way, the straw doll. It had really good build damage. Yeah. You want to say anything about the hollow purple?
No, I agree with most of what you said. It was a good balance. It was enjoyable. I did like that if you shot it flush with the ground, instead of just once it hits a wall, it would, like,
that was
break.
Kinda weird,
it did
though.
actually kind of, like, scale over the terrain a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little janky at sometimes. And last thing I want to say, not about this, I wonder, again, just like how we talked about the classifications of weapons, what are the rarities going to be like? Like, we have a Marvel and DC series. When are we getting, like, an anime? I feel like we're getting to the point where that is valid, because it feels like it is getting to the point where we might have more anime skins than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because I counted, I think there's close to 30 to 40 anime skins.
Yeah.
So, just another talk. We're not going to talk about that now, because we have to talk about the story and Season 4.
Yeah.
My mind is going crazy. It's okay.
Story.
So, I'm going to say this right now. Like I said, I wasn't able to stay updated. So, me and JJ did not have our weekly update. Let's nerd out. Oh, hey, something happened. There's a quest. What does this mean? Like we have in other seasons. So I was not informed. I knew there was stuff at the beginning, the first few weeks when the season dropped. But for the most part, I don't really know what happened. I know stuff happened. I also know stuff happened that doesn't matter. There's stuff that happened that did matter. Just like every other season. Of course, what did matter, who knows how long that's going to matter, because this is Fortnite we're talking about, where they literally hinted at something called the nothing for years, and there's literally nothing.
Yeah. Anyways, getting into this.
With that transition, lay it on me, JJ.
From the start of Wilds, man, oh gosh. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Wilds has been a very lore-heavy season thus far, and most of it is actually through environmental storytelling, which I think was very, very cool to see in terms of the fact that we've got most of our storytelling through quests and audio logs and stuff like that. But a lot of it was told through, like, the architecture of the jungle temples and, like, some murals on the walls.
That was a good break, because it was really, really, really cool when it started and we started getting voice acting. And now it's just kind of like, oh, hey, the world's doomed. Thanks, third tier 100 collab skin, for telling me.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
It doesn't mean as much. So it's nice to go back to the roots where we did used to actually have, you know, look at the map to figure stuff out.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things people found in the map was a mural of a telescope and 5 weird bubbles above it. And the one it was focused on had a symbol quite similar to the was it medieval biome?
Ice King?
No, the medieval
No.
biome. What's it called?
Is there a biome autumn area?
What's that called?
Citadel?
Citadel, yeah.
That's not a biome, but okay.
Whatever.
I'm trying to think of the whole biome. It's like...
it had a very similar symbol style to that area. And people were wondering if maybe this telescope of sorts was used to pull in different dimensions or like travel to them somehow. But the biggest question was, why are there 5 bubbles? The other 4 didn't have any symbols in them. So are they saying there's 4 other dimensions related to this one somehow? And to be completely honest, that's still a question we don't quite have answered yet. We know we activated we call it the apparatus. Throughout the season, we went around collecting different crystals. I believe they were kinetic ore, but I'm not sure. We brought them to forgetting his name now. Not Sloan, the other guy.
Trace?
Yes, we brought them to Trace at the apparatus, and he installed them, and Sloan was going around researching the jungle, trying to find out more information because she was working with Trace to try and solve what was happening in general. But eventually they did rebuild the apparatus and were able to open the portal, which was a giant purple star map in the sky, I guess. And it changed the moon to become an eclipse, I guess.
Like Ronin.
Yeah. But it was cool to see, and another one of those, constantly changing things throughout the map. Even if it wasn't a actual map change, it was just a slowly updating structure. It was cool to, in those last few weeks, see that giant star map in the sky.
Yeah.
Having Sloan back was very interesting. Did you ever go back and listen to all the audio logs?
Audio records.
Okay. I recommend doing that for anyone who has not yet, especially because it'll help hearing them in order. But
we talked about this earlier with Marvel. I'm just kind of waiting to if it's gonna be good, because I don't want to it feels like there's a lot. There's probably a good 30 minutes maybe.
Possibly.
There's a lot throughout, and I don't want to watch and just sit there and look at audio records for 30 minutes on YouTube just for them to automate nothing.
They were really interesting, and I think it's useful to have that in our knowledge base in case something she says in those comes up at a later point in the season. We all thought all the
information about nothing would be important, and here we are.
It's also true. But yeah, having Sloan back has just been great in general, because she was a very beloved character.
I did finish
Chapter
the
2.
Snapshot quests, so I did go and talk to her. I didn't read all the text because I had a crunch for time to get to level 200, so I'm just doing it for XP. But I did look a little bit at the text, and it was cool to see some of the communications between them and the other people.
Yeah, the snapshots were not the best quests, but in terms of smaller stories with the characters, it was pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
Another mural that was found on one of the jungle temples was the depiction of some sort of deity that was unspecified to us, but we now know it is actually a depiction of Kato Thorn, which means somehow they knew about him. I'm guessing it was because he time travels, and he must have traveled back to the jungle at some point to take something for his collection.
Or before, because if that's ancient, then it could have been a whole other thing, like a folk tale that they heard across the land.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's more so a case of they saw his time-traveling actions and were like, oh, he must be a god or something like that. And so, they made statues of him and stuff. You can tell it's him because it has the vampire wings and it has the bat ears. Those are the main two distinctors. I'm trying to find a picture of it real quick so I can look and see if there's any more similarities there. But yeah, that was a very interesting one, and one that we weren't able to solve until this season came out.
Yes. And then wasn't there something about the Ice King, that table with those symbols? Was there actually something, or is that just a theory?
I think it was a theory because I don't exactly know what you're referring to.
The symbols on the table where the Ice King and all the, like, the prisoner possibly and all these other people were. Wasn't those symbols on one of the ruins or something?
I don't recall
There was a lot of
being
symbols
that,
on a
but
lot of the ruins, so...
Yeah.
There was
It
also a
in
Stark
question
Industry
'cause there
table.
there were runes on the walls of the Jungle Temple, which the biggest theory I have seen, and heavy quotes
Which looks like a
theory
triangle,
here,
which is on the Cube
because
Queen. It's last
this
reality.
is no. I'm going. People really are hoping that Fortnite is taking the route of the Jungle People are, because they were referred to as ancient scientists by Sloan, right? They did a lot of research into the kinetic ore and how to refine it. And, assuming that these people had magic, like, we see all of these special qualities that the kinetic ore items have. If we are assuming that they turned the kinetic ore into cubes and then somehow enchanted them with these runic symbols, and that's how you got the cubes that we know today that the last reality uses. Now, who those scientists were, we don't know. We don't know if any of them are particularly significant, but people are thinking the last reality were created from these ancient scientists in the jungle.
And a little bit of, like, Top 5 gaming and, like, just reaction, because I also watched some people reacting to Fortnite lore recently, because it's kind of funny, because there's so much. And I did see there was some talk about the last reality being some kind of relevant to this stuff.
Yeah,
in theory.
It does seem pretty relevant, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it yet, but there is another mural that does kind of look like a cube cradle. There's no real way to tell, because the cube
That's
cradle is
also
kind
a
of just
question
an
with
egg
this
shape.
season, so we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, but that is a thing that is also going around in the community.
I'm trying to think of, like, other things I've seen. I literally haven't looked, because I just haven't cared. Even if it's lore heavy, how much of this is going to be retconned or something? Like, I don't know what the lore is actually anymore.
Yeah.
Where's Jonesy? Where's the 7? We thought they were important, right? And there's not. So why should I care about Sloan? Because we think she's important.
I found the mural of Kato Thorne, and it's actually interesting. He does have a circle on his left and a circle on his right. The one on the left has a crescent, and the one on the right is just hollow, which could be a symbolizer of, the moon and the eclipse and whatnot. Maybe. It could be a situation of maybe his time travel machine causes an eclipse when he goes and uses it. I don't know.
We'll get there a little bit, because we haven't gotten out of that season yet. Start talking about last season. So, there's the ruins. I'm trying to think of anything else we're going to talk about the season in general, or is that really it?
Optimus Prime's lore was interesting. How
it relevant?
It was relevant. He was informing us about different things over the radio throughout the season. It wasn't just the island is doomed kind of thing. He was directing us towards Sloan a lot, definitely. I don't even think I heard all of the messages because I always turned the radio off. But it was...
There are so many random little mini quests with him, too, getting the shard and taking it somewhere. That wasn't Optimus. It wasn't Optimus? What was that then?
No, that was another one of the apparatus things.
Oh, was it the apparatus at the very beginning of the season?
Yeah, there was
Those voice
4 of
records
those throughout the
encrypting?
season. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yep.
I do want to point out, this isn't me saying Fortnite's story's bad. It's just not as enjoyable. With Marvel, it's just not as enjoyable because it's very confusing and it's really annoying to be theorizing like this and taking the time, because I still remember back in chapter 2, at the end of the chapter, we were literally looking at all the houses and we saw a milk carton had a missing person sign and we were theorizing who that was and going through all of that, but not just the small stuff, but the big stuff, and then it being retconned or literally being useless.
Yeah.
It's not as enjoyable, so it's not like I want to spend all this time. I still enjoy the gameplay, not last season as much as this season, but I still enjoy the game and playing Save the World and goofing off in creative. There's still plenty of Fortnite that I enjoy, but the story itself, it's just not as enjoyable because I don't know what to care and not care about, and what's just, here's Optimus Prime, and here's End of Reality with Last Reality from Chapter 1 that's not Chapter 1 because it's Chapter 0, because who knows what this chapter is.
Now, I do see somebody is pointing out here, 4 of the skins we've gotten recently have the weird, like, little curlicue symbol that people are calling the 0 point logo. Suki 2.0, Kiara KO, the IO Remnant Agent, and the Ageless, along with one of the skins last season in Wilds, all had this like little curly, if I could show it I would, 0 point logo. Now people are thinking maybe this is some form of resistance or them trying to form up some other organization to defend the 0 point now that the 7 are gone. Why specifically it is these skins, we don't know, because they have had little to no relevance to the story, but the fact that the Ageless also has this symbol is
What's the name of this group? What do we call it?
This group? We don't know.
Wasn't there also the group called the Unseen or something that also started this season?
Unseen?
Something like that. There's a few skins. A
I
whole
don't know
other
about
group. Like the Peace
Unseen.
Syndicate. That's just not...
I don't know.
There was another thing that was like that.
I would not be able to tell you.
Let me see if I can find some clarity. Yeah, Fortnite Unseen members. The Nothing, Shapeless Man, Treyarch, Mary Dennis, Randpaw, A Beautiful Monster, A Great Kraken. It's with, so it's something. Who knows what it means?
Okay. But yeah, it seems like we're very bogged down with all these different organizations. Like at some point, we just need to have good versus bad.
Different
like
resistance,
really.
IO, but it's not the IO because the IO's gone, but it is the IO because it's all started from Geno.
I miss when it was just the 7 versus the IO. Honestly, like it was.
That's what I'm
it
saying.
was a lot
like,
of fun to be
That's
like.
why it was enjoyable back then because it was simple. But there was still a lot to think about. Like in Chapter 1, figuring out who the 7 is. That was where a lot of people really enjoyed it. Like literally having to go in real life to find the llama and all that kind of stuff. That was fun. Now it's just here's the 7th iteration of the 7 / prequel of the 7 / not the 7 versus old Ageless is brother. Like
yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's just not as enjoyable. And then they constantly reference the other ones. They are important, but they're not actually doing anything until they're right in your face, like the Peace Syndicate started in season 3, chapter 3?
Yeah.
And then they're like really there in your face last in season 2. And what are they doing now? Nothing.
Yeah. It's rough.
That's how I feel about the story right now. I do think it will get better as it seems like this season, if this has truly been like hinted at since Ronin, maybe there's some big thing being hinted at and there's gonna be some crazy lore change or something, especially with the new chapter / not new chapter. We don't know what it is yet. We'll see. But
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nothing that's coming directly to mind.
I'll interrupt you if I remember something, because that's not going to happen, because I didn't play this season, so I don't care.
I mean, there was Era's small story. Do you know much about that?
Nope.
She is a time traveler, quite obviously.
Yeah.
She has different ancestors, quote, which it's weird how they did her time traveling. It seems like when she goes back in time or changes what time she's in, she takes the form of her ancestor.
Okay.
So, like, that's what that emote is. That's, like, her, quote, time traveling and turning into her ancestor, because her second style is a different person.
Yeah.
And I guess if you know Assassin's Creed, I guess it's kind of like, in a way, how the Animus works. Like, you're going back and reliving your ancestors' actions.
That's an interesting take on it, I guess.
Yeah. It was definitely interesting, and I hope they don't try and do anything like that with this time machine. But her story was pretty cool. You know, she came from what we can only assume to be the future to the jungle to try and find something. We don't quite know what. Some people are currently theorizing that it could be, you know, she's like a time protector, and she realized that Cato Thorn was using a time machine and came back to the jungle to try and find him because she knew, obviously, the jungle people knew of him because of the murals on the wall.
Yeah.
But unclear, and probably won't end up being important at any point in the future.
Again, why just
Yeah.
If they actually mattered, or at least were some kind of reference, or join one big team, then sure. But like, there's been like 7 teams. What big team are they joining? One of the set. I don't know. Like I said, it's just not enjoyable.
Yeah. The Luminaries also, seems like a throwaway organization for the jungle season. That was the explorers that we've seen on like the tents and stuff.
Well, like I said, they might be coming back. They might mean something
be,
else. Which, do we want to? Is there anything else specifically, or do we? Because we keep mentioning this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can hop into the next season for us.
Do we want to talk about story first? Since I don't think there's not much that we know about yet, as it did come out yesterday.
Yeah. So. Oh, goodness. Cato Thorn is here. He uses a time machine to travel back and collect things of value for his collection. A lot of them are gold, which is a curious thing.
And when we say gold, we mean more than just, like, he's like a golden egg and a golden record. We mean gold. What were you going to say?
Yeah, like, a lot of his stuff is gold. For some reason, too, he has Midas hand.
And Oro's head from the trailer.
Yeah. Presumably, he uses Midas hand to turn things to gold, I'm thinking.
Now, did you also see that one of the items is half gold?
Yes, I saw a lot of stuff he has is partially gold.
So that's like the theory of, is he taking Oro's head to get the curse, or Midas's hand to use the curse to turn stuff into gold? Or like, what does that mean? Like, is he experimenting? We haven't seen much of a lab, but he does have a time machine, so we have to guess that he's a little bit of a scientist. And in the main vault where he is, there is another vault behind there, which is where that is, but who knows what else is back there. It could be one of two things. It can just be the time machine, because I don't know about you, I'd keep that locked up. Or it could be like the little mini lab, kind of like we saw at the end of Chapter 2, the IO base in the mountain. Mm-hmm. It could be...
People hacked through the map, and as of now, there's nothing behind it. It's just a staircase that leads down.
Which is kind of...
Yeah.
And there's nothing behind the wall in Chapter 2, but there is something.
Yeah.
So, well, that's completely theory. We have no idea, but that's something to keep in mind.
Cato Thorn is also a vampire, and so the High Stakes Club is relevant in a way again. Apparently, people think Cato Thorn is here because they unleashed him in one of the loading screens for the High Stakes Club. You can see them opening up a coffin and a vampire reaching out, and that hand could be Cato Thorn's hand. There's no real way to know because all we see is the hand. But people are thinking that was hinted at then.
That is the question. Who knows?
Indeed.
Again,
and they all
like I
do
said,
have alternate styles in the leaked survey skins. So it's very possible they could be making a return soon.
Like I said, the season came out yesterday. Let's wait for some story quests, because it looks like there's already talk. Apparently... Do you know who sent us to Nolan?
Sloan.
Do you actually not know?
Sloan.
Okay, no. I heard nope.
No, I said Sloan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It cut out slightly. So it's like, there's going to be some story development throughout the season. it is just day one. So
Yeah. No, I'm honestly kind of bummed right now that it wasn't Midas. Like,
we don't know what
Why?
Midas is gonna do because there's too much gold for Midas not to be here, right?
like think of it if they did this way, right? If Sloane contacted Midas, which we already know they know each other in some form because he interacted with the IO. If she contacted Midas, not only would Midas have an incentive to help us steal from Cato Thorn because, you know, he stole Midas' hand and probably...
his drum gun and other stuff.
And his drum gun. Yeah, so Midas would have an incentive to help us get in there. But Midas would also have contacts to other people to help us break in to a place like this. You know, he literally had a team of spies in his own season, so it would make a lot of sense for him to have these kind of contacts.
Which are still alive, by the way, because there's been so many hints throughout Chapter 3 that they're back. Like Sky and Meow Schools, Paradise Meow Schools. There's so much to hit that Midas is paying attention. I mean, in Chapter 3, we saw his restaurant with his Doomsday device.
Yeah.
So, like Midas has been hinted so
much hinting at him. And we already know he has a digital style coming out at some point. Or at least it was in the survey skins. And
doesn't mean it's coming out.
Female Midas that exists had a digital style.
Marigold.
She currently has that. Yeah. Marigold has her digital style. So Midas is coming at some point, hopefully, with
maybe
it. And his
it's
hands
not
in
guaranteed,
that.
But it just,
his hands in that are digital, so it would make sense.
Oro, so just the whole story of Midas, right? Like Oro and the curse. There has to be something going on there.
And everyone is just hoping and praying that Epic realizes this and does something to give us our Midas that we've been asking for.
Who knows? I mean, here's an idea. What if Midas has been around this entire time? And he's been, I don't know where, but I'm saying, what if he's been around, and what if he's been keeping an eye out for, two ideas. One, what if he's been watching Cato Thorn? Like, what if he has been watching out for him in the shadows or something, right? Like, you know, in the ducks, like, that's why his spies are here. He sent his spies out to keep an eye out for him. Now that he's finally here, he's come to, like, you know, battle, like, spy versus spy. Or two, this is going to be very much more lame. One of the last times we saw Midas, he did get eaten by a shark. What if his hand was banned off, and that's where he got the hand from?
I mean, he's out of line, but he's right.
It's a lot more lame, but, like, I just thought of that. The last time we saw him, he was eaten by a shark, so what if he ate the hand? Or ate the rest of Midas and the hands all that's left?
Donald really got us all, like, crazy by saying he's not dead.
Yeah.
He got us all, like, hoping for him to come back constantly.
So, both of those, there's no proof. But, like, what if that's what's going on? Because, again, there's just too much hinting and foreshadowing for this not to make sense. But it's also Fortnite, so if it makes sense, it's not gonna happen. But now, even if it does happen, Midas might just die at the end of the season and we'll never see him again, and all his hinting was for a huge anticlimactic revolution-like fracture.
Yeah. I mean, we know the live event at the end of the season is 6 stages, which is 2 more than we've ever had. 4, I think, is the most we've had.
And
so 6 stages is
UEFN.
huge. It's not UEFN, and it has tags relating to open world, which is very curious.
Well, again, we don't know if this is going to be the end of the chapter or not. Story-wise, at the last season, there was some stuff to say it's the end, right? Like, Optimus and some other people, like, did see him, like, end of chapter coming around the corner.
Yeah.
But then we also had that at the beginning of the chapter where we had a huge rift opening up, and it's like, it could explode everything if this goes wrong. And we're still here. So, as of right now, because I still remember the arguments between Chapter 3, or was it Chapter 4? No, it's Chapter 4. I remember the arguments between Season 5 or Chapter 4, because we didn't know, right? Because, you know, the last 2 were 2 years. And I just remember, since, like, day 1 or 2, I remember it's like, this is the end of the chapter. Because of just all the similarities between the last one. We've only really ever had 2. The first one was really out of the blue. So we've only really ever had 2. I don't see anything as of yet that really points to end of chapter because it's a spy theme. By the way, the current chapter is Last Resort. It did come out yesterday, so people listening to this might not know that. Is Last Resort a spy theme. So as of right now, day 2, I do not see enough similarities to point to end of the chapter.
Yeah. I mean, you do have a point there. We were getting, like, emotes and stuff in the item shop that had those strange tags, like, I'm almost to the next chapter, stuff like that. So
yeah, like, there was plenty of pointing towards an end of a chapter. People didn't see it or really think that because it was weird. But now that we've had a year long where each season is a season, like fall, summer, it would make sense to have that now, but we don't know how they're going to do that yet because we've only had 1 year long chapter.
Yeah.
So it could be a 2-year chapter. We don't know. I feel like there's plenty of opportunity to do that and not do that, but we'll have to wait and see. As of right now, there's not. But we do have the end of chapter event in the file, so who knows? We'll see it throughout I'm back now, and I'll be here for the rest of the chapter because I'm not leaving until next summer. And this hopefully probably will end my next summer. So we'll keep you up informed as the season goes on. Whether that be my YouTube videos, because I plan on trying to do a lot more Fortnite videos this season, or updating on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's about the story for this season thus far. So,
what do we talk about first? Battle Pass, map, or gameplay?
Let's talk about the POIs.
POIs. Oh. I want to hear your opinions because this entire season is nostalgia. It is Chapter 2, Season 2. All over again, and every best way. It was so funny you having to explain to Alexi, watch out for the turrets, they're going to shoot you. When back in the day, when I dropped first, that was the first time, Chapter 2, Season 2, and we had bosses and NPCs and henchmen roaming around. And I just remember experiencing that, and it was so rough. And it's just so funny seeing even you. I've told you about it, but you haven't really experienced. Well, no, because you did have kit and stuff. But then like someone like Jaden who hasn't experienced that kind really to the level that you have, let alone to me and Joey, because we know it's rough out here. We also know the strategies like putting a cone over it and all that.
Yeah,
so it's just pure nostalgia in every good way. In every good way.
I'm glad we have something like this because I really wish I did play that season. Like, it was a really cool season, and I'm glad that we have something similar to that now, so I can say I've had that espionage kind of season.
Speaking of which, I'm going to quickly pull this up. If you want to start talking about the POIs, I'm going to pull up the ranking of the seasons because this is one of, if not the highest.
All right, so Sanguine Suites is the first one it has listed here. Obviously, that is a hotel kind of situation. I know I said that.
I have to mention this now, as second place is Chapter 2, Season 2, with 65,000 fires and only 5,000 boops. You know, that's it uses emojis, right? 87.8% of people that use Fortnite.gg think this is the #1 season. Following that is Season 5, Chapter 1, and then Chapter 2, Season 4. Do you know what's currently in first place?
Who?
This season.
Bruh.
It has a 91.2%. This is currently... Now, obviously, there's only 54 poops and 7 throws. Like, there's not enough, but as of, like, the ratio, it is currently #1. And I don't know about you, I haven't seen that in the community. In Twitter, YouTube videos, this is one of the best. It's not my favorite, but, like, it is great gameplay-wise. It's so fun and refreshing.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can talk about the map now, but I just feel like the fact that it's #1, I had to point that out. Like, that is big.
So, Sanguine Suites.
Sanguine Suites.
Yes. Hotel.
Yes.
They all, just disclaimer, if you didn't already get it, all 3 of these POIs have vaults hidden underneath with mythics from previous seasons, some fan favorites. You got like the ray gun, the boombo,
TNT's boombo, Foundation's mythic MK assault rifle. We have Kit's charged shotgun and Kit's charged shockwave launcher. We have the ray gun. We have Gunner's SMG, which is hot garbage. Ocean's bottomless chug jug.
That's a very good one.
ish. I still don't know if it's good or not. The slurp is just so fast and you don't have to sit there. 15 seconds is a long time.
Yeah. I think the main benefit is it's infinite and you don't have to have
However,
refills.
we'll talk about this more in a little bit. There's a lot of slurp on the map right now, and we'll talk about that when we get to loot pool and stuff.
Yeah.
But these are all random. All of those that I just mentioned are random. The POI that we're currently talking about, Sanguine, and the Retreat both have 2 pedestals, and it's random on which ones they can. And then Eclipse has 3.
And you only get to pick one.
Yes.
Which, honestly, little bit salty that if you're in squads, you're gonna fight over who gets the item, but
yeah, no,
there
that's
is some
kinda
epic chests and stuff in there, so.
Like, at least, like, I kind of get that'd be really overpowered to get, like, shotgun and then the MK7 from 1 volt and the burst from, like, Eclipse.
Yeah.
But, like,
maybe have it
squads,
be, like, 4 of one item. Like, once you choose an item, it drops enough of that for each of your squad to have one.
That could be cool. Something. Because, like, we're playing squads. It's like, oh, 1 person gets something. 1.
We did all this work to get down here, beating a boss as henchmen, getting past turrets.
And lasers?
Like lasers. Like, and then we get 1 item that's, like...
And if
like,
it's Gunner's SMG or the ray gun, it's like, cool.
Well,
I'm not picking either of those
we have a disagreement here. He says the bow is better. I think the ray gun's better. And this is a perfect example. Like, what if your team is split on what item to take? Like,
or sometimes it's not even worth it. Like, I'm not if it's the ray gun and the Gunner's SMG, I'm not taking either. It's not worth all the NPCs. And then what does that mean? All the ammo to fight the boss and everything was useless.
Yeah.
Also, we did
it's a little
forget
bit
one.
rough.
Midas's drum gun is also in there. I did forget to say
yes.
that.
That was really fun.
I wish I could use that more. I've not used it enough. I want to use it more. Have you used all of them? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the mythics in a little bit. Okay. But how? So with Sanguine and the rest of them, how confusing are they? Like, I'm trying to like picture them all individually in my head, and they feel very similar.
They are definitely similar in terms of like coloring, architecture, design,
Inside.
stuff like
Outside,
that. But
sure, they're different, but when you're inside, it's kind of hard, especially when you're in the
I think
vaults.
these ones are going to be more so a case of, in the moment, I'll be like, hey, this hallway looks familiar. I know I need to turn left. But like, if you ask me like, hey, in this hallway in Sanguine, where should I go to get to the vault? I'm not going to be able to tell you. I just use my memory and intuition.
Give me another week, and I will.
Yeah, but what do you think is the best of the 3 in terms of like design and everything else?
So again, nostalgia. Sanguine, not that it's bad, just nostalgia. It's not really there. Eclipse is agency or authority. It's just like what Midas was. That's the best one. It's bigger. It's better, right? Like, it's a little crazier. Then the Retreat, it's just like the Shark or the Yacht or the Flotilla. It's just out there in the ocean. It's kind of like separated. It's out in the corner. Because the agency is right there in the middle. The Citadel's not middle, but compared to the other 2, is right there. That's again why I think it's like the agency. This one's literally in the bottom left, the Retreat POI, and I love it. Like, I think that's my favorite. Not the best one, but that's probably my favorite one, just because it's so out there. But due to the mythics, I have to say Eclipse. Because one of them gives a mythic Havoc AR, trash. The other one gives a mythic Thermal. We already mentioned that in the first half of the video. Thermal's not really useful because the jungle is still here. Then the other one, not only do you get 3 options instead of 2, you also get the mythic Burst, which is pretty good compared to the other 2. So I have to say, for gameplay, you have to go Eclipse.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd say the same. Relentless probably is the more fun one, but Eclipse for gameplay.
And then, again, this is where it gets really similar. The one where there's the bulletproof glass, is that same one? Right?
I don't know.
But this is where we're talking about. It's kind of hard. There's one with like bulletproof glass, and that's just really fun and goofy to like try to go through there. Me and Joey both try to ram it, shockwave, C4 it. It's unbreakable. Wait, we didn't try the bunker.
Bruh.
Myth
I hate to
busting.
break it to you, I don't think that'll work.
So, speaking of which, hold on, we'll talk about that in a little bit with some gameplay stuff. Map-wise, what else? That's really it, right? There's the three
Yeah,
POIs.
it's really just those.
The other two, by the way, so Eclipse has the Catothorn or Catothorn?
I think Cato.
Catothorn, Catus event. Catothorn, he has a Mythic Burst, SMG, and the other two are the same person. Like, it's just an underling. It's not really anyone.
Yeah.
But looks like the jungle might be flooding a little bit. We haven't seen enough to really say that.
I mean, it is a sinkhole, so it makes sense to fill in with water at some point.
But who knows if that is referring to anything? Because, the water was draining in Grotto. Grotto was not unwatered. It was still very much flooded by the end of the chapter. So, again, could mean something, could not. We'll see.
Yeah. I could see possibly like, oh, the water is rising. The 0 point is gonna like try and, I don't know, do something to escape. I don't know.
If we do
Maybe
have
the
another
0 point will
season,
do
I could just
something.
see a water POI, like a lake.
It's,
We don't
it's
really
like,
have
it's like
a
that meme of the stick character poking the 0 point, be like, do something.
I just realized we don't have a proper lake, do we?
I think is it Sanguine? No, Relentless Retreat is a lake.
Would you classify that when it's on the edge of an island, into an ocean, into the void?
I'd say so. I mean, it's lake enough.
Yes. I mean, if anything, if it's a retreat, I'd rather go to an ocean retreat than a lake retreat.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we do have another season, which we don't know yet, I could see maybe like a lake POI. Something, it just gets flooded. Here's a huge lake, loot lake, something.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know if that's going to do anything. It could just simply flood a little bit throughout the season, and that means nothing. It's just one, like the area. They are on stilts, so, just everything just gets raised up. Or this could be it. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about the rest of the weapons now, as soon as we already mentioned the mythics?
Or do we just want to get through the battle pass? Because I don't think there's too much to mention in the battle pass. Because I feel like the gameplay with the just everything, that's probably going to take up the rest of the time.
Okay. Sure. Let's jump to the battle pass then.
Sure.
So, tier 1, Nolan Chance.
Nolan the Liar.
Okay,
Sorry,
then.
One Piece.
Chance. He's all right. He's your average Joe.
So just like last season, I don't think these skins are necessarily bad. They're just there. They're like kind of mediocre. I don't hate them. I don't love them.
They're just kind of boring.
They're underwhelming. However, Nolan specifically, I feel like my problem is they're trying to put the chapter 4 model on something that should not be, and it kind of just looks weird.
Yeah, because like he has very high res skin, a very sharp jawbone, and he just looks like he should be a soft Jonesy kind of thing,
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I'm just gonna rank it now 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
like I said, it's
I'd
just
probably say
there.
same.
I like it more than the other ones because it does have some cool styles from last chapter, but it's just kind of there.
Yeah. Piper Pace. Pizza Pit Jacket.
Yes, I like her. I like her more than some of the other ones compared to the generic ones. Not my favorite.
I honestly do as well.
She's definitely one of the
She has
better
a good
ones.
amount of customizability, with the cap and the jacket and
That's
the
what
different
I
color
really like
suits.
the purple style, like that second
Yes,
style, and
I
having
also
the
like
business
that a lot.
and business on and off coat
Mm-hmm.
just adds more to it. I like the emote, the pizza wheel emote thing. That's that's a vibe.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'd rate her probably 7.
Yeah, I'd say 7 too. Again, it's not a great skin, but compared to some of the mid ones that we've had, this is one of the better.
Yeah. Fish Thick.
Fish Thick with 2 C's.
Oh yeah, baby.
I'm trying to think. Probably, I'm not gonna use it because I don't use these skins, but it's definitely one of the better meme skins that we've had in a while.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely an entertaining meme skin,
I'm trying to think, what was
Fish
the meme
Stick
skin
finally
last
got
season?
buff.
What was the meme skins of the chapter? We have 3 seasons. What were the meme skins?
That's a very good question. I don't think we've really had many at all.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that has props.
Yeah.
Oh, we
I guess
did have
the
Thunder.
lizard
Thunder
guy,
season
yeah.
2, but he wasn't as maybe like these. He actually wasn't
Yeah.
a proper skin. It felt like
Mhm.
he wasn't there to be a meme like Gumball, like a Gumball machine, or this guy having protein powder, but it's fish flakes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to quickly scroll back to the season. Doom guy, I'd say it would be
Yeah.
the closest thing to the meme skin in season 1.
Yeah, I don't think we've had that many meme skins, which honestly I do kind of miss them, like a little bit. Like I know I was saying I really don't use meme
Yeah,
skins.
I don't
and
use
could do
them. Like,
without
I have
them,
so
but
many like Meow Schools and stuff.
I
but
do
it's just,
still kind of miss them because
it adds to the
takes the
season.
silly out of
Like,
Fortnite.
oh, that's a huge moth. You know McCreamy?
No.
No, okay. He's one of those like meme channels, like Fearless, goofs off. He used this in the first video of the season. Like, it's just fun. Like, it's a different part of the community. You know, using the llama, using Gumball, all that kind of stuff.
And Fortnite is that one battle royale that still remains, lighthearted after, you got your Call of Duties and all those like serious ones.
Yeah.
Fortnite still
You
has
say
that,
that as Snoop Dogg's about to be in
entertaining-
Call of Duty for the 3rd time. He was there last year. This coming one, Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah.
no, Modern Warfare 3, I think. Vanguard, Mobile, and Ghosts.
Yeah.
Cussing out your grandma.
But yeah, Fish Stick, I'd honestly rate him a 7.
Yeah, no, honestly, I want to say 8. For the meme skins, I like him. He's not up there with Meow Schools. Like, even if it's 8, it's kind of hard to limit when it's only 10. Would I rate Meow Schools the same? Like, I'd rate Meow Schools probably at 8 too, but is it the same level of 8? No. As like Fish Stick, but it's definitely one of the better meme skins because I would actually use him versus the llama or the Gumball machine thing. I would actually use the Fish Stick.
Yep. All right, May, cell shaded.
I like her. What do we have a cell shaded last season?
I do not think we had a cell shaded enough.
You talk about her. I'm gonna quickly look it up.
Okay, May, I like her. I think her base style is a little bit boring for me. I'm not a huge fan of it. But once you get to her dark mode style, definitely fantastic. I really like it. The purple shinies and everything. Her set is pretty neat too. Nothing uber special, but it does go pretty well with her. There's also the talks that she's somehow related to Orisa, I guess.
Yeah, because it looks very, very, very similar, especially to the tennis court version.
Yeah, she has the bandage on her nose, the braids, the same hair color, So there is that possibility.
So we did have one last season. Season 2 was that one really random girl with like.
Oh yeah.
She was really random. So I'd probably say it's up there with one of my favorite in general. Mizumi was cool. I like the set, not the skin as much. Honestly, I'd say probably up there with Orisa herself. Like Battle Pass cell shaded skins, one of the better ones. Especially that second style. That second style is so good and different too, in a good way.
I'd say taking that second style into account, I'd put her at 7.5.
I'm gonna say 8 too.
All right. Antonia, the core one.
Yeah. I have the video, my video just going through the battle pass on my phone.
I like Antonia. I think because I'm a huge fan of the core skin. That one was Chapter 2, Season 8, for those of you who don't know. She was one of my favorite skins and still is to this day. So Antonia, very similar vibe, got that kind of agent look to her, the, I guess, sort of coat. I don't even know what you call that kind of garment. It's a little bit weird, but she's really cool. I like her silver style a lot, and the mask looks awesome.
Yeah, like you said, it's just like core. It's a different type of core, but it's very much similar to core. I think I like core more because it has like more of a trench coat, and I like my trench coats.
I'm
we'll
so
see.
hyped for the super styles on this one.
We'll talk about super
Antonia's
styles
gonna look so
after we
good
finish
with
this
that.
because we have to quickly mention last season and why we're excited for this season.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, what do you rate her?
I'd say 8.
8. I'm surprised. I thought you would say like 9 because I know you really like core. Honestly,
I guess 8.5. I'll kick her up a little bit. Definitely, I think it's my favorite of the battle pass.
Not
so.
quite a 9 because I like core more, but 7.5. It's still up there. It's still good.
Yeah.
The next one, which is completely out of the blue.
Cabby Lame.
Yeah. He's here.
Dang, bro.
He has a cel-shaded style.
Yeah. Nobody saw this coming at all, but this man, I don't get me wrong. I find him highly entertaining. I watch his TikTok/Reels all the time. Like, I'd see him. He's very funny. But not what I would have expected to see in Fortnite.
No.
Especially this season.
Not having this really weird looking second style. It's so shaded with a sword back bling.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we're gonna say. Let's rank it because I don't think there's much more to say.
It's him, so I don't know, 6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not that it's not that we don't not like him. It's just as a battle pass skin, it's just random and it's not a great skin. Because I have to specify that before we get canceled, because it's like, oh, you don't like the Optimus Prime skin, you don't like the cat. It's like, guys, we like the characters. It's just as a skin, we've had better.
Yeah. Final one, Cato Thorn.
He's here.
He is here.
I'm just kidding.
I don't like his main style, like with the blue necklaces and everything, black coat. Looks a little bit weird, I will admit. I do, however, like his bonus style with the kind of relaxed, like, I don't know what you'd call it, bathrobe kind of thing.
Okay.
Toga? No. Yeah? No. I don't know.
I have no idea.
And his vampire form are both pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I do like those. For that, I'd probably put him at 7.5.
I'm going to say, until I use it, 7. Could it be higher? I think it could be an 8 or even an 8.5 based on the second style and everything. But it's kind of there.
I really
do
like
love
the
the
wings.
wings. Yes.
Yeah.
The glider specifically. Back bling.
Yeah.
I have a lot of wings, so I don't mind having new wings as a back bling. Most of the time, I don't use them because they're really being the way. These, I don't think they're good, because sometimes they're like actually out and then they flap and they actually like spread out and it takes a... These look like they're going to be like the fire ones. So they're going to be like buckled in, so they won't be in your way as much. So we'll see, again, like I said, until I really use them. But the glider itself, whoa. Now, JJ, what's a skin you could see using with that? Graveyard Drift.
Ooh, yeah.
Graveyard Drift
That could be
itself,
pretty
like
cool.
just both of the vampire skins, like put together, their sets. That could be really cool. So we'll have to wait and see.
Last one. Ahsoka Tano.
She's here.
I want to say I called it. Obviously not on the podcast.
Did I say specifically no? I just said it'd be stupid. Did I say specifically no, or did I just say that'd be stupid?
I think you said,
or I don't care.
It'd be. I don't know. I don't know what you said, but I was right. That's what matters. I was like, the release date of the show matches up almost perfectly with the season's release. So I was like, it kind of makes sense for her to either be the secret skin or the collab of the battle pass. So, and she apparently was supposed to be in Cabby Lame's spot in the battle pass, and they ended up switching them for whatever reason, like within the last few weeks. Which is why Ahsoka Tano has like 9 other items in her secret skin page.
8.
Because she was meant to have a whole battle pass page.
8 other items.
Okay. So yeah. And
we don't know what they are yet. It's question marks. So when that happens, we'll mention it in the following podcast whenever that happens. It's 33 days from now. Well, no, from yesterday. So 32 days. I will probably make a video reacting to it and getting it or streaming it. We'll do something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we don't know what those are yet. She's here. She'll have something. Probably have lightsabers when that happens.
Yep.
I guess.
Yep.
Who knows?
I'm interested to see if they decide to bring back everything or if they just give her, her own lightsaber with its own ability.
I hope not. Not that I don't want them. It just kind of ruins her moment to be like, oh, here's Vader back again. go
Yeah.
kill Vader with their stormtroopers. It's like, okay, I've done this 5 times now.
I mean, I could see them doing like a Rebels like mini pass again. Obviously, it'd be another Star Wars one, which I guess doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but there is a lot more Star Wars content to add. So, like with the Rebels show and the fact that they were all, well, a chunk of them are a part of Ahsoka, the show, I could see them like having 3 or 4 skins from that show and get Ahsoka as the secret skin.
Again, time will tell. This is only theorizing, and these are things you don't have to really stress about theorizing because these will be answered guaranteed.
Yeah. All right.
Hold up.
Do we want to hop in
Super styles quickly
Oh yeah, I
from
guess
last
we can talk
season
about
and
that.
this season. By the way, there are just like last season. I want to quickly ask your opinion on it. How do you feel about the way they're doing quest rewards and bonus rewards? Bonus rewards have been the same, but now we have quest rewards, which kind of annoy me because it's like, cool, I unlocked Fish Thick's glider, but I don't have the base style. I have to wait till like quest or bonus reward.
I
if they
think it
just
should
build
always be secondary styles if they're going to put it in quest rewards.
Yeah.
And personally, if there were the option, I think it should just always be extra stuff. Like,
Yeah, I
either
don't
make
like-
it a whole nother style or make it extra stuff that
I don't like
isn't
that.
like...
It just feels like clutter that they're filling up.
Yeah.
At least the quest, the bonus rewards. That's what it's been like, right? Like we got Doctor Strange's wrap in the bonus rewards. Bonus rewards are a little different, right? Because that is part of the battle pass, kind of. Just a little different than OG days, but it's still but the quest rewards. It's just cool. Here's
it makes it
let's
so
fill
that
up.
if you want the whole set, you have to do all of your quests.
I
which,
do like this season's version of the quest rewards, which we can quickly talk about before we get into gameplay. So, so it kind of is annoying. But last season, you just did weeklies, right? I think we did the same thing in season 1 too. And 2, it was just like weekly quests. If you do enough, you get some bonus rewards. This season, we have snapshot quests. And I don't know about you, though they're annoying to do, the idea and the reward of them is so good. Earning rep. So what happens is if you do the snapshot quest, you earn rep to a character. So right now we only have Nolan. And when you do enough quests, you actually unlock stuff to buy. So you unlock a disguise, hiring him, and I think a gun or a key. And you have to do enough quests. And with that, you also do, as you're doing his quest specifically, you're unlocking his bonus rewards. So stuff from his set and his bonus style.
Yeah, I do really like that idea.
Instead of just
having
doing
it correlate to
random
the person.
weeklies. You know, it's like, cool, I have to complete week 7 through 9 from Yao schools. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's
makes
definitely a
little
lot
bit more
better this
sense.
season. Is it ideal still? Not exactly.
No, like I
but,
said, I'd rather
you know,
have completely fresh stuff or not having to do weekly. Like, I wouldn't mind if we had this, but their challenges, not just snapshot quests or not just weeklies, is getting there. It's better, but it's still not what we've used to have, which was fine. And they really But yeah, super styles, and then we'll get into gameplay. Last season, you didn't get this.
I got like, I think I got the entire first page and like 1 from the second page. I really did not like them. I honestly, I almost want to say I despise them. They are my least favorite super
they're my
style,
least
and
favorite for sure.
Overall, I said
should say
before I
over-
didn't like the ones that encapsulate the entire skin, and I will always like the ones that are just clothing better. But
Except
I
for
lied.
this.
These are bad. These are genuinely terrible, and I would take any season's super styles over these.
Yeah, no. What was last season? Last season might have been one of the best. That purple, green, and gold.
Yeah,
That was
it's
great.
just
Or the
really
blue.
awesome.
Like, there's been some good ones. These aren't it.
These are not good ones.
The confetti one, by the way, again, I want to point out, because I am a sucker for, like, I'm an author, right? I'm writing short stories and stuff, so I like wordplay and just, like, names versus just gold, silver, and blue or something, right? Like, photo negative, right? When we first got these cool ones. This is called a confetti. Why do I want a confetti rainbow super style? Rainbow would be fine. You could call it rainbow or something and then make it look better, but not the polka dot cheetah print.
And it also doesn't really make sense with the jungle either. Like,
No.
obviously, it's somehow relates to cheetah being an animal, which I guess resides in some jungles, but like, it would have made more sense to be like, I don't know, some sort of camo or something. Like,
Yeah,
even
and then we
that would
have-
have been better.
Yeah. Then we have the red one, which is all right.
Okay.
We've had better, but that's definitely the most normal super style version. And
Yeah.
then finally, it's the gold and blue one, which again is cool. It just feels weird compared to other super
It's like
styles
a weird
you've had.
clashing color.
I don't mind the gold and blue. I have multiple things that are gold and blue. It just feels weird.
Yeah. So I just didn't bother trying
I
for
did.
them.
I FOMA. I'll completely admit it was FOMA. I did not do it because I want them. I did it because I just want to have them.
Yeah.
FOMA, fear of missing out if you don't know.
Yeah.
So I did get them.
You guys know me. I have other games that I play. So if I don't want something in Fortnite, I will happily take that time and spend it on another game.
Yeah, but I primarily play Fortnite, so I have the FOMA and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I just want to complete it. I got the snapshot quest. I can get the loading screen or spray that I'm never going to use. Well, maybe. That changed tonight.
Yeah.
That means we are looking forward to this coming seasons a lot more after the huge letdown. Is this the first season since you started that you didn't get them? Not because you couldn't, but that you just didn't get them?
I think so, honestly.
Because I know for me, almost every season since season 7, I've gotten 300. That season I
Yeah.
have like 220. Every season I get like 300. The lowest
I've gotten over
280.
200, I think, every time since I started.
I definitely play more because once you get to 200, you kind of dip a little bit. You're not playing as much. I still primarily play Fortnite. But yeah, which is completely fine. Nothing against that. It's just that's just how much. But that also, again, shows the excitement for this season, especially for what they can do with gold.
Yeah. No, this one is going to be so
Sadly,
awesome. Like,
we can guarantee a gold one. I know they're kind of overdone. There's going to be a gold one. If there's not a gold one, that might even be a bigger letdown than last season's. I'm going to be completely honest.
I'm excited to see because we have heavy theming around lasers this season. Like, all of the promo involves lasers. I'm wondering if they're somehow, like, I don't know how they do it, but incorporate that kind of laser style into the skins.
Now,
Like, think
yeah.
how Chapter 2 Season 8 had the cubes inside them. What if it's kind of like that, we can see inside them, and it's just like a web of lasers?
that could be cool. We'll have to wait and see. Again, that is 18 days now. It's not too long. Here's my question. Who's getting them? We have not talked about this. Normally we talk about this day one.
Yes.
Who's getting the super styles? So now this is the first time we're having this discussion. Who do we think's getting the super styles?
I
Nolan.
think
Nolan.
yes.
Nolan.
Definitely Nolan.
Absolutely.
I think Antonia almost 100%.
Probably.
I don't think Cabby will get them just because he's a icon.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, Spider-Man, well, and Doctor Strange.
Spider-Man and
Marvel.
Doctor Strange are Marvel collabs, though. This one's an icon. I don't think the icon is going to get super styles. I think Cattlethorn we can also rule out because of his alternate, like, morph style. I don't think they're going to account for that.
Yeah.
So I think he's not going to get them.
So it's him,
And
Cattlethorn, and
it's
I'm gonna
5
say,
that gets them, right?
Yeah.
5 skins.
I want to say
means
not
all the rest.
Fish Thick. What was the third one? You said not Cattlethorn and not.
If there's Nolan Chance, Piper Pace, Fish Thick, May, and Antonia.
There's always 8. Or is that included Secret Skin? Cell shaded. My, Piper, Fish Thick, Nolan.
Antonia, May,
Antonia.
Fish Thick, Piper, and Nolan. That's 5 skins. That's all the super styles.
Okay. Of course, we can totally
So, yeah, I'd
prove it
say
wrong.
Steph.
That's just what we're thinking. I'd say
Yeah.
so. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'll definitely do at least a video reacting to them when they come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that, that is it for all the boring stuff. Now for what is possibly the most fun I have had in, I'm gonna say it, again, this is not overall season, it's just the pure gameplay loot pool and loot cycle. This might be my favorite since chapter 1. Do I love the loot pools of some, like, Season 8? I loved, right? Like, the sideways stuff. I love that. Chapter 2, that was Chapter 2. Chapter 3, I love Spider-Man and the new stuff.
Yeah.
I love some of these. This might be, like, the best loot pool I have seen since Chapter 1, for me.
No, weird side note real quick, because you said it. I saw on Twitter, I would not be able to tell you who tweeted it, but I saw somebody said the sideways mythics were added to the files. I don't know how they're going to bring those back, but I saw they were added, and I don't know, maybe a Wild Week coming up at some point, or maybe they're going to add more mythics throughout the season.
I think there's a high chance of them adding more mythics, because there's a lot more mythics that we don't have. Like
dude, imagine we get the Spire boots. Oh my gosh. I would be so hyped about that. Those were so much fun.
I would never pick that.
Those are so much fun.
But yeah, there's a lot of mythics, so I could see the sideways stuff. But compared to other ones, that's stealing the Spires thing. You can't. So the ones that you can get multiple of, I don't see a chance of getting as much. Or copies, right? Like, I don't see us getting 3 different versions of the burst. Like this Striker burst, Sloan's burst, and Ocean's burst. I don't see us getting all 3, but I can see more throughout the season. Just like others, So, but speaking of which, let's talk about that a little bit more. Speaking of which, with the mythic loot pool, do you want to talk about our thoughts on all the mythics?
Yep, I got the list right here. So first one,
no, I'm just gonna say the 2 that we're not gonna care about: Havoc AR, and actually 3: Havoc AR, Gunner's SMG, and Thermal.
Yep,
they're here.
Those
never
are here.
picking them up.
Anyways, everything else that's good.
Actually fun and gonna be crazy.
Midas drum gun.
I don't know.
Woo, boy.
I don't know. So 1, it's nerfed. It is only doing 24 damage. And
it is indeed nerfed.
I have only used it like once, but the one person I reacted to said there's a lot longer pull-out time. So I don't know.
I would not be able to tell you. All I know is I've used it twice, and dang, when you're close, that thing shreds.
Yeah, there was one person that I broke in their box and I just kept spraying them. It's
it is so fast. They just melt if you can hit your shots. It's great.
It's not the old one, but it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah.
40 magazine, if you're wondering. I think it has like an 11 fire rate. It's pretty good. So you can play through builds. Speaking of assault rifle, MK. Mythic MK.
Yep. MK. I will always love the MK. This one is good. Very overpowered in a recoil.
I really like the AR this season, but it's nice. It has like no recoil. I don't know yet, just because. Yeah, I don't know yet whether I pick this up. It's good. It's the same one. I don't know if I like the foundations, because like I said, the recoil was a big problem. That's why I like the alpha. So I don't know if I like the legendary alpha more than this or not. But it is cool to have. It's definitely an iconic one because it's foundation.
This is definitely the AR I'd be using that match if I find it.
Yeah. Trying to think of other AR. This Gunner's SMG, Zig and Choppy's ray gun.
I really like the ray gun. He's not super fond of it.
I don't
really
like it. It's fun. It's just not as good as you think compared to other stuff.
I absolutely shred with it.
That's great. I shred with it too. I shred better with a combat because it does more damage. And it has a higher DPS by almost 80.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely be picking up the ray gun if I find it. It's a lot of fun.
Pick it up over some of the other stuff. These are these few are the bottom ones, because especially the loot pool this season, there are specific ones I do like. That'd be kind of like picking the mammoth. Like, I would use the mammoth over maybe one of these. But there are some mythics that I will pick every time. Not one of those is Ocean's Bottomless Chug Jug.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about this? Is your first time using the Chug Jug also? Did you use it? Yeah.
I have used it. There were 2 matches in specific that I had it for a long time. One of them I actually ended up winning because of it. It was me versus 4 other players, because we were playing squads and it was final circle. I was hiding in a leaf bush and drank this sucker and I was able to come out and take them all down because this was the heal I used. Any other heal, I 100% would have been screwed because as soon as I came out of that bush, they would have seen me and shot me. But this thing saved my butt.
And because it has a 15-second cooldown, the overshield, if you're playing zero build, guaranteed pretty much as long as you're not getting shot, will be recharged by the time you're done taking it.
Yeah. And the other match, I used it like 4 different times while I was almost dead, and being able to get that all right back was fantastic. So I personally really like it as a heal. I think having that as your only heal is not bad, but having that and slurp would just be absolutely fantastic.
See, that's where I'm mixed on it. There's so much slurp. So so there's also we're talking more about some specific gameplay stuff, like the vaults. We're just talking about the specific mythics, but there's like this one NPC. He drops like 6 slurps. Plus we still have the shield, the caches and stuff. There's so much slurp. I don't know if I'd rather take a chug jug and slurp or just 4 slurp if I'm taking 2 heals.
Yeah.
Because I can keep running. It's so long, and because there's so much, you can just get more slurp.
Yeah,
like,
here's the thing. Because there's so much, after you kill a player, you might as well just drink one of their slurp and then pick up the heals you had before and just go on your way.
That's what I mean. So like, I don't know if I'd carry the chug jug because it's also a 60-second cooldown. I might need to pop another mini or something like. And because there's so much other utility this season, I don't want to have 2 heals. So I need my mini or slurp or something I can constantly take and not just the chug jug. It's still fun though. I'm still happy it's back. I think it's great. Just for me specifically, I don't think it is going to be something I will be taking over some of these other weapons.
Yeah. Kit's shockwave launcher.
Yes, that's what I was going to go for next. The utility. Good and bad. Honestly, pointless. I'll be completely honest.
And we have a lot of other mobility that people are going to be picking up more. No.
We have shockwaves. Now, Kit's shockwave launcher. It's great. It is exactly like the shockwaves, right? So why wouldn't you carry it? Well, there's not enough rockets. Because it's the only RPG in the game, there is no rockets casually on the floor that you can just pick up.
Yeah.
Really hard to get. And 2, would I rather have that with that shockwave launcher, or there's an augment where I can open literally ammo chests or safes and get shockwaves and be constantly topped up on shockwaves because they're just on the floor.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situational things. If you find it, it's probably worth picking up and can be useful definitely in the moment, but shockwaves themselves are common enough that you might as well pick those
very much enough to not need the launcher. I think that's it. And then there's some weapons.
Yeah. Kit's charge.
Kit's charge. That is the shotgun of the season. Charge is crazy. I don't know if it does 250, but it does do over 200. So that is 1 pump. But not just that, we have first shot with shotguns. So first shot with a shotgun is doing more damage, kind of like the prime shotgun.
Yeah.
However, it's not to get that maximum. It will be on top of that. I'm hitting 154 to the toes with this thing, and I'm pretty sure that's without that. That means I could be hitting 160 to the toes.
Yeah, no, this thing
hard.
is doing a lot of damage,
and that's on not a full. That's pretty much a full charge. But then again, I do play primarily build mode, and there was a few times yesterday when I was using it, I'd edit and I'd flick them for 150. That is a good shot. The Havoc's not in. The Sharp Tooth could hit that, but it's definitely harder to do than the Maven's not doing that. And then what's the other one? The new one. It shoots fast, but not enough damage. So this is hitting the hardest because nothing else is also going to hit that 200.
Yeah, so this is one where if you see it, you pick that sucker
up.
I am picking that up in
build mode. Zero mode's a little different because I like my speed, so I might take the new shotgun or the... Well, actually, no, it has the range. So honestly, I might take it in zero build too. Again, it is only... This is day 1, impressions, day 2. So things will change. Balances could totally come at any minute. But from what I've used, because I haven't used them all significantly enough compared to others. But yeah, how have you used it much? Have you used it all?
I used it 1 match. It definitely hits hard, but I didn't get to use it long enough to say much more than that.
Yeah, because also with the charge, JJ remembers, back in the end of chapter 2, I literally turned my pump shotgun into a charge, and I hit some crazy shots. Like, the range and just the pure damage output is crazy. Midas's drum gun. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we already did that one. TNT's boom bow.
TNT's boom bow. You don't like it, do you? Or is it just you don't prefer it?
It's not that I don't like it. I think it's different, obviously, than the actual TNT's boom bow, because there are tags on this one in the files relating it more so to the primal explosive bow. Apparently, they delayed the actual explosion a bit more and
I feel that.
its radius.
I have to pull it back a lot farther and longer for the explosion. I remember just kind of like half pulling it to get a little distance, and it would still hit the 75.
Yeah, it feels like so long pulling it back to actually get that explosion, which is the main reason I don't like it, I think. But
I did pick it up earlier in the game that we just played. Like an hour. Well, no, we've been doing it for an hour and 50 minutes, so we just did it. I love it. It's not my primary thing, especially with the suppressed sniper, but it is fun. I like in the midst of all the NPCs coming out, when you steal it, I hit like 300 damage because it's splash damage. Those people that you died to that was far off, I cracked them, like hitting them to the side, 100. So it is good, especially for not having too many sniper options, and it has unlimited ammo, which is nice.
Yeah. I do think the recharge is a little bit long, but that's probably just a preference thing.
Trying to think. There's another one, right?
Nope, that is all of them. I have the list right here.
Oh, cool. And then there's also Cat of Thorns.
Yeah.
Which is not from the vault. You have to kill the boss. But that's not really a mythic. It's just one of those slightly upgraded ones. It's not like a new weapon. Like we don't have an MK and drum gun. That's the only one. It's just one of them. So I think with that, we can go into the general loot pool, because we got a lot of new stuff.
Yes, and we should probably try and be a little quick about this, because keeping it to 2 hours might be smart.
Not happening.
For the sake of editing and the file enhancement.
Not happening. We have 9 minutes to talk about the entire gameplay of chapter.
Nah, we got this. All right, Rocket Ram.
Oh, that is peak mobility. Mix that with a shockwave launch up. It also breaks everything, so build mode, just going up and hammering down 50 fall damage. It's great.
It is so much fun. I absolutely
love it. And unlimited charges, so I do wish you can like move it, like slightly curve yourself so you can go farther on the way down. But I kind of understand that kind of removes the point.
Yeah, it's another one of those that's like
not the
perfect
point,
balance.
But we're gonna do that.
It's a perfect balance between mobility and damaging players. Yeah.
That's the Ram. C4's back. It looks a little different. I'm pretty sure it acts the same. I think the spread's a little bit smaller, the explosion. I'm pretty sure it almost instantly breaks the turrets, so that's cool. Yeah, that's not really much to say. It's C4. It's back.
Yep.
Cool.
We got the business turret.
That thing is toxic.
Yep.
I was really scared for it when we're like going into the season and seeing the trailers and stuff. It's toxic. Not as bad as I thought. I was really scared I was going to be hitting like 15 or 20 damage, or like like shredding through builds. It does break builds, not very fast. It's only tagging for 7 now. If you get trapped out there for a while, 7 adds up like 5 times. That does add up. It does hurt. But not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Each person on a squad throws down a turret, you are going to shred somebody. Like,
yes. It's also nice.
It's definitely a good way to claim the field.
I think, exactly. Claim the field. When you're claiming the POIs to get the vault, that's such a great thing just to chuck down to deal with the NPCs. But also, if you're rebooting or reviving, just throw that down and it'll at least alert you or just help protect you a little bit. Not something that I think I'd carry in my inventory, but like in that situation, like in the start POI, I will use it quite a bit. I think that's it. SMGs.
Yep, the main 3 weapons then? Did we talk about those yet?
No.
All right,
so I think the other unfolds. Oh, and suppressed sniper is back. It's the sniper. It's cool.
There's
some cool augments with it, but we do not have time for that.
All right, the
shotgun.
Twin mag.
Okay. Well, let's go shotgun. Shotguns.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of the important part of Fortnite.
The infiltrator shotgun.
What do you think about it? I'm still mixed.
I personally really like it. I think that fire rate is just what I've been looking for, and it hits hard enough that I am really enjoying using it. I think I've picked it up more than Shark Tooth, but I think that's mainly because it's new.
Yeah.
So we'll see later on.
I've used it a good bit. So I also do want to say, I know JJ's getting annoyed, but I need to let the viewers know. JJ was at work yesterday and today. I was not. I'm pretty sure I have like 25 hours in the season already, and it is day 2.
Yeah.
I
have
used
maybe
everything a lot. A lot. So even though I've used the Sharp Tooth much, I've still probably had a good few dozen games of the new shotgun. I'm mixed on it. I've always been the fan of the slow firing, heavy hitting. I still think I like the Sharp Tooth more, especially for that range, combining that with some other stuff. I really like it for that damage range and that heavy hitting, because I can hit like 120 with the legendary Sharp Tooth. The mythic, by the way, the spawn island, the loot island, item is an enhanced version of the new shotgun. It's doing 97. Yeah. That's still good, but the Sharp Tooth is just going to hit more because I hit those shots. I'm going to take that one. I think that's what the meta is too, from what I've seen a little bit with the competitive. It's not bad, it's just not my preference. I haven't used it enough because the shotgun makes the season. If there's not good enough shotguns, the season is rough. Like the drum shotgun, right? It's rough. So we'll see. Give it a week or two. Give the balancing after the first update, and we'll really be able to know the shotgun meta.
Yeah. The Twin Mag AR.
What do you think about it?
I have been liking it so far, actually. I know at the beginning I said it was inaccurate, but it is.
And I'm like, JJ, it can't be inaccurate because it is a first-person weapon.
Yeah, it's
100% accurate.
It's weird because I think the scope throws me off. If I'm being completely honest,
scope. It is a very
weird scope, and so it's kind of odd to try and hit players with it. But it is another one of those that's like, it's weird. I don't know how to describe it, but like a lot of these scoped ones that are these single shots, feels like you're pricking the person. You know, it's like
the red eye.
It's such a like this one in the red eye. It's like you shoot him and you're pricking him with it.
I do like this. I think this might be my favorite first person. For a while, since season 1, it's been the red eye. But the red eye, I always tapped it, right? You could do full auto, but the recoil was really crazy and it's not worth it. This one, the recoil isn't as bad, so I can actually full auto with it, and I'm using it as an SMG. People are close up and I'm hitting them with it. I've just been doing shotgun and this. That's been my loadout. It's been great. I think one thing with the scope, how much first-person shooter games do you play with normal modern scopes? I'm not taking crazy Overwatch scopes. Normal modern scopes like ACOG scopes, holographic, red dots. Because I think that's kind of where Call of Duty helps me a bit. This is just like a holographic sight. The SMGs, like an ACOG, then we have Red Eye, we have different types of sniper scopes. I'm used to looking at that in video games. So I can understand if you're not used to it, it's very jarring. There's ones that I prefer.
Most of the games I play are like sci-fi or something like that. So
I have mostly used almost all of these types of scopes. So that kind of helps me adjust to them very quickly.
Yeah.
This might be my favorite AR, period.
Yeah.
I know I like no, that's period. First person, it was the red eye for a while. But even through all of that, it was still the heavy. The heavy was my favorite. This might take the cake for my favorite assault rifle in the game. I love it.
Awesome.
SMG.
Right, and then, scoped burst SMG.
Mixed. I have not used it enough as, again, the hardest part with putting something like a scope on an SMG, and that goes the same for like Call of Duty too, I never do it because I'm in their face. I don't need a range. So like when I'm using an SMG in Fortnite, I'm breaking a build, right? And then I'm switching from my shotgun to my SMG to spray them down. Or this season, I can just switch straight to my assault rifle.
Yeah.
It's just really awkward to switch to like a scoped weapon when they're in your face.
I think I like it mostly for the sake of when you're, like, think of it this way. When say you're by the jungle, right? And you're up high and your opponent is down in the jungle sinkhole, you know? it'd be a little bit awkward to try and shoot down there with an AR because they're a little bit close for an AR. But it's also a little bit far for an SMG, and so I feel like that's the sweet spot where you would want to use, the scoped SMG. And I feel like the burst definitely helps it here, is that you're able to shoot your opponent with this scoped weapon that allows you to see them better, but also you hit them with a couple bullets at a time just in case they're trying to take cover.
Yeah, no, I do think it's a good SMG compared to the OG burst SMG, which you don't know. You've played with it, you do not know the struggle of that. This is actually good compared to that. But again, it's just my gameplay, like my game style and playing build mode specifically. I need that SMG in that close quarter, like box fight. And this is not doing that for me.
Yeah.
At least the red, and especially since it's burst, it's really awkward hip firing. At least with the twin mag assault rifle, hip firing's not too bad. And I've been able to hip fire quite a lot after shotgun and kill them. Not as much with the SMG, but I do think it's good. And honestly, you could take it as an AR because of that skill. You're not going to do that much damage. You're going to be tagging them for 9, but you could tag them for that mid range. Maybe not long range, but mid range for sure.
Yeah.
That's the weapons. Okay, we're over 2 hours, but we still have a few more things. So we have to quickly shoot over the mobility.
What about it?
Slaps are there. Splashes, etc., etc. Shockwaves. Shockwaves are back and build and zero build. You can get them a lot from everywhere. But it's a really random one. Were you expecting this one at all? The Crash Pad Jr.?
No, I was not.
Honestly,
but it exists.
It's nostalgic for me because back in the day, the full tile bouncers?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they're actually directional and they'd be only a quarter of the tile. So, nostalgia, mini version.
Yeah.
Useful.
It's cute. It's fun.
It's there.
It's not the most useful. It's good if you're like, I just accidentally jumped off a cliff that I didn't know was this far. Throw one down.
By the way, the RAM that we talked about earlier is definitely the main mobility. It's shockwaves and the RAM. The RAM does protect you from fall damage. So if you're about to die and you're just a second from hitting the ground, as long as you're in the animation, you will not die.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's utility. Is there utility? Grenades? No. C4 we talked about. There's some other utility coming later this season, but sadly we do not have enough time to talk about that. We'll talk about it when it comes out. Map. I think we covered. Let's just quickly. Do you want to quickly talk about the lasers and stuff? Because that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so when you're breaking into a vault, there are a few things you have to get past. Obviously, you have the cameras. If they see you, they mark you so that any other players can see you. And I believe it alerts guards to your position as well.
Definitely guards. It's the guards, even if you're above them, they know you're there. So definitely guards.
Yeah, and then there's the minigun turrets, or I guess stationary turrets that you have to get past. They have a field of view. If you're in the field of view, they'll lock on and take 2 seconds to charge, and then they start firing. But you can avoid them if you avoid that field of view.
By the way, the marking players with the cameras is new. I do not remember that in the old days. They just warned the NPCs. So that's cool and bad. I don't know. It's there.
Yep. And then the last one would be the laser walls that you have to get past to get to the door of the vault. There are usually 3 or 4 walls in a row that do change in what you'll have to do. Some of them you have to crouch under, some of you have to jump over, and you have your obvious left or right where you go. And if you set them off, that sets off the alarms and locks down different gates in the vault area.
So don't worry, you're not screwed. Not instant death like Indiana Jones's.
But that also tells you tells the guards where you're at, and they'll all come chasing after you.
Yes. So yeah, there's that. There's one more really cool dynamic part about the season, and we're gonna end it on this because it's long, but it's fun. The RAM. We talk about the RAM, right? The RAM's fun. There's actually parts to the map where you can only get through with explosions for the RAM. It's indestructible. And it's what if we hit this with the RAM? It looks kind of breakable, and we can't use our pickaxe and shockwaves, and it breaks. And that's how you can get out of the vaults. If you're going through, it's there's an escape from the vault. You can go straight through up through a zip line because there's secret tunnels and everything. It's great.
I do want to mention the positioning of some of these walls are fantastic. There's one specifically I'm thinking of that's you're looking out the door of the vault.
That's
and
what I'm thinking.
Right
There's,
across
like,
from
right
it,
across, and there's a
there's a
zip line
door
straight
that's
out.
breakable, and
Yeah.
you just charge straight out of the vault door into that wall, and you can get out. So like, say there's a player camping the door. If you have a ram, you can easily get past them, break that wall, and leave. Like, it makes it a lot easier for you to escape that kind of corner it puts you in.
Speaking of escaping, the ram is also really good. Remember how we said you get locked in with the lasers? Or say that someone already set them off? You can ram straight through. Or say that you just need to get there before someone else. What I do is I don't care about setting it off. I just break it and it actually breaks them behind or in front of me. So I just go straight through.
Yeah.
The ram's great for utility and everything else. The season's great. What do you rate the season out of day 1? And then we're going to end it.
Honestly, thus far, I'd rate it 9.
Rating it 10. I am enjoying it.
Yeah.
And with that, bye.
Thank you all
We
for
have to-
listening.
If you've been here the whole time, peace out,
Yep.
guys.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be back,
We're
by
sorry.
the way, and we'll be back with many, many more episodes to come.
Yep. Follow the podcast, and we'll
At
see you
Nerd
all.
Rant, podcast, Twitter, and Instagram,
Yep.
and Spotify,
That-
and iHeartRadio and everything. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.